And I seen a quote today that said, I will never forget who came with a lamp when I was in the dark. And as soon as I read that, I started thinking about emergency contacts and about how we as people, you got to start identifying who your emergency contacts out here in your life is. You know, literally, like who can you call when the lights go off? You know, when you're down on cash. Made me think of my homie when the lights did go off and my homie came through with that money for me. You know, when I needed it. Who can you call on when your gas tank go on E and you need something? I thought about the days I was stranded and I needed rides at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. And who could I call? My emergency contact, my homeboy. He was always willing to come out. 2, 3, 4 in the morning, it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? He was making sure he picked me up. He was making sure to be accessible to me, you know? And everybody's not gonna be like that. So it's important that you got a foundation, you know, a circle around you. No matter if you're an independent person or you know, an introverted person, you got to have people strong around you who can pick you up when you down, mentally, physically. You know, your emotions gonna get down sometimes. Financially, sometimes you gonna need it. You know, and it's important that we got those people who can be there in our time of need. You know, not to use them, but to be there for us because we really need them. And that's why I stress companionship is necessary. You know, it's necessary for you to have a spouse. You know, a significant other, a girlfriend. You know, that someone really cares for you, that you with most of the time. You know, more than other people, more than your friends, more than your mother and father sometimes. And you know, those emergency contacts, that could be your mother and father. You've been down before, you ain't had nothing. You had to go back to your mother and father sometimes, you know. I give my son money all the time, give him advice all the time, emergency all the time still. Because we emergency contacts for each other, you know. And I had to call him before in the time of need as well. You know what I'm saying? Because those emergency contacts you gonna need out here in life. And you don't want to make the wrong emergency contacts out here thinking everybody's going to be your emergency. Everybody's going to throw you a life jacket when they see you down and you're drowning out here in your life, because that's not going to happen. And that can be family and friends as well. You got to identify these people who have been loyal to you forever. You know, you got to identify these people who have stuck their neck out for you and done these things before. You wouldn't know them. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't know who is who. You know your spouse is there for you. You know your wife, if anything ever happened to you, she's going to do whatever she can for you. You know how that goes when you got people with you. Companionship is very necessary for that matter. You know, it's important that when you down, you sick, that you got a girl who can, you know, take care of you, who can take care of the house now that you're not there. Take care of the kids, make sure everything is great. If you do lose things, you know what I'm saying, you lose your job, she can pick up as well, and vice versa. That's why that companionship is very necessary out here in this life that we live in. Because when you make the wrong emergency contacts, you thinking everybody just go get you money. You thinking everybody just go pick you up. You thinking everybody just go be the GoFundMe to turn your lights on and move on for you. It's not going to happen. Then you got to think, what have I done for these people? Have I been an emergency for these people? Have these people called me in the time of the need when they were down? Did they call me when they need cash? Did they call me when they lost a job? Have I picked them people up? I'm not saying tick for tat, but you know who is who. You know the relationship that you got with a friend, and y'all reciprocate everything back and forth. You know, he's been down, you've been down, you listen to his stories, he listened to your story, you picked him up financially, you picked him up financially, and that's just how that go. Like my friend who gave me money to put these lights on, when that occurred with me, when I was down, you know, when I lost my job, the same thing happened to him. Not the lights, but just it could have been emotionally there for him, you know, just being there for him. I had to send him cash before as well, though. But we established that relationship where we already knew, you know. Something happened to him 2 years ago, and I had to help him out as well. Something happened to me 3 months ago, and he had to help me out as well. That's just how that go out here. You need to know who you can call in an emergency. This is like a permission slip with your kids. They need to know who can we call if something happens to your kid on this field trip, right? And you put the parent or the guardian name, right? These are the people that you need to identify with. So you can't be relying on your coworker, on the guy down the street, you know, your ex-girlfriend you done bumped into 5 years ago to pick you up. No. The people who are your emergency contacts, they've carried you before. You carried them before. You know, they've been down mentally. You know, they've been, you know, not stable before. And those are the people who sat with you in the dark. Those are the people who didn't judge you when you were down and you couldn't move and you were depressed. That's your emergency contact right there. Because anybody's willing to sit with somebody through a storm, somebody's willing to sit to somebody when they going through some hard times, that's your partner right there. That's your friend. That's probably your wife right there, your husband, whatever you going on. Because that's deep love right there. When you could be loyal to somebody when they not in the right mind frame. You know, when they fell off. You know, when they not thinking how they used to. When they lost their confidence. That's how you know you got a significant other, a friend with you. You know, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. You know, your ace boon, whatever that is. You know, you need people out here who can pick you up. And they need to be accessible to you, you know, availability, you know. I couldn't call everybody at 3 in the morning to say, hey man, I'm stranded, man. I'm sitting out here walking, man. Old girl kicked me out again. That's the life we used to live. I couldn't call everybody. Everybody ain't picking up their phone at 3 in the morning. And the other ones just didn't care, you know what I'm saying? Some people used to call me back, you know, 5 days later. Yeah, you called me, Lamar, that night late. What was going on? Oh, nothing. That's what happened when you make the wrong people your emergency contact. I expected him to pick me up, but he never picked me up before. He never made me his emergency before. But it's vice versa. I've never been his emergency before, you know? So sometimes it ain't, you know, you got to be mad at people. You just can't make the wrong people your emergency contacts, you know? Your family members, all of them ain't gonna pick you up, but you might get 2, 3 of them who would do it like that, you know? Because relationships are important. Companionships are important, people. So it matters when you're down out here. It matters how the way you living out here, that you have people out here to help you out here on your journey. And I hope that you identify your emergency contacts out here in life and you all know each other and y'all know what it is. That's all I got. Motivation comes in many forms. Lamborghini Lamar.